Shout out, shout out, shout out. Welcome into the show. It is Major League Baseball show presented by rightwager.com. Trying to filter a few things. Now I'm trying to get the chat box up here. There we go. Now we're set. Now we're ready. It's your boy DRS. Look, I need a little bit of vibes here, right? So let's get some vibes right now. Let's get some vibes. Big day today. It's a Thursday. Only a few games on the docket. There's 4 of them. One starting at 12:05. We'll hit that right off the bat. But I need some energy because the A's yesterday drained a lot of my energy. It really did. So sometimes you have, get the uplifting ones. Now I just need to calm down. A little sensitivity, man. Just need a little sensitivity as a handicapper right now. What's good, Darren? Just got to relax. Let the numbers come to us. Win some money. Win some bets and get after it. Yesterday on the early line, best bet winner, team total, over 4.5. Seattle Mariners easily hit that. But on the card itself, hey, come on, man. Like, we broke these games down yesterday. All team totals typically will go down to 2.5. Colorado will do 3.5, maybe 4.5. Tigers got 4 runs yesterday. Blue Jays got 20 runs yesterday. Kansas City got 7 runs yesterday. Seattle got 8 runs yesterday. San Diego Padres got 3 runs yesterday. Sacramento Athletics, 1 run yesterday. We couldn't even get to overtime. We couldn't even get to overtime. We couldn't even get to extra innings. Absolutely upsetting. But it's the way it is, the way it breaks down. Yesterday I had a pretty good card. 15 full games on the schedule today. You got 4 games on the schedule, which starts early today. It's Lopez and Parker, 2 lefties on the mound, the Athletics and the Nationals. 9:57, 9:58, 12:05 p.m., which means it's coming up in 3 minutes. Total in this game opened up at 9. Now we're seeing 9s disappearing to 8.5s. A favorite here for the Athletics, which opened up at 124. That's now up to 148, 156, 160, as I'm seeing here at BetMGM. The total in that game opened up at 9. It's, again, 8.5 at this point. And that's what I want to look at here. Mitchell Parker is a really bad pitcher. He's really bad. Same thing we talked about 2 nights ago. Bad pitcher on the mound for the Washington Nationals. Doesn't really matter what, let's just say Sacramento Athletics, whoever we're going to call them, do. They hammered out a ton of runs. They didn't yesterday. Mitchell Parker's last 45 days in Major League Baseball, 37 1/3 innings pitched, 6.99 ERA, 5.60 xFIP number. He should get hammered today. There's no doubt about it. He should get hammered. And by the way, if you guys are watching them in the chat box, reset a lot of things going back to a different computer. So I don't think we'll have too many issues today with the live broadcast, which is fantastic. So as we sort of up the ante, making sure things get cleaner and cleaner as these shows move forward. Chat box up on the screen as you can see it right now. So if you want to chime in, have some fun, you got a question, ask it. I can see it directly on my return monitor and also on my large monitor here. So that certainly will be a part of the show that we can have. And anything that pops up at this point, we can certainly talk about and see what happens. But yesterday, the A's let me down. Today, I didn't take the A's. Like, I'm looking at a couple games later. But I got a feeling where I'm going to be out and about doing some handicapping, researching some statistics, and I'm going to get pissed at myself. Because I'm like, oh, you should have just taken the A's today. And I understand that. Same way looking at the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays on the card. Early afternoon games, 4 and a 20 spot. Easily hitting numbers. You could have tagged them into any one of those games. So if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games yesterday, 5 of those games hit, 1 didn't. That's all it takes. Put the wrong one down. It's not like, oh, man, the A's were the stragglers. Should have never put them on. No, I like the A's yesterday. I really did. I do like the A's today. I just don't love them enough to put it on my card. It has nothing to do with what happened yesterday. Day-to-day basis, that's what you're going to get. Shea Langoliers leading off, looks great. Nick Kurtz, batting number 2, looks great. Brent Rooker, not a lot of power against lefties, but a .399 weighted on base percentage, we're fine with that. But after that, Willie McIver, terrible against lefties. Tyler Soderstrom, actually, McIver doesn't even have really any bats against lefties the past month, so I can't say that. Tyler Soderstrom, bad power numbers against lefties for the past month. Darryl Hernandez, 7 at-bats, decent statistics. Take that for what you will. Colby Thomas, nothing. Luis Arias, nothing. Max Scherman, nothing. They should get 2 to 3 runs today just because it's Mitchell Parker on the other side. That's being honest. That's what really should happen right there. It really should. Let me see. Can you disappear some of these here? Let's see what we got here. We're going to take those guys out. So maybe that guy. So I think I can actually take things out of the chat. I don't know if I can actually take that comment out, but allow me just to get rid of it here where it can't post again. So there you go. All right. No big deal. Filming back in 1080p, loving life. But hear me out on today. Not a lot of good batters for the Athletics. Should they pound away? Yes. 83-degree temperatures, more of a crosswind, right foul pole to left foul pole. We look at Mitchell Parker on the season, or let's just go the last 30 days, Mitchell Parker. 11% K rate, terrible. On the season, 14% K rate, terrible. ISO against 181, weighted on base percentage against 346. That's on the season. Last 30 days, ISO 207, 414 weighted on base percentage. He stinks. He's a little bit better against lefties than righties. And there'll be a lot of righties in that lineup. Soderstrom and Kurtz, the only two lefties in the lineup, so 7 righties. You should be able to get runs. Now, I'm not saying we're shying away. Oh, Donnie, they got 1 run yesterday. That's why you're not taking him. That's not the case here. It really isn't. And maybe I'm just a little bit
angry at the Athletics because they only scored 1 run.
Could be. Might be my inner me talking right there, getting angry about that. You can't let that go. I just passed on this game earlier. Let's see what happens, and certainly earlier. And I'm going to bring that up on my screen right now, too. Let me just go on a score update. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to do that. We just post it right here. Let me see. I'll bring up my handy-dandy phone right now. Shout out. Just to see what happens in this game. I don't want the distractions on the computer. I'll turn and look at it. So 1 out in the top of the first inning already at this point. Passed on the Athletics. Did anybody out there take the Athletics today? Anybody out there have a wager on the Athletics today? Leave it in the chat box right now. Which way did you bet? RBI prop maybe? Because Langoliers and Kurtz look fantastic. They really do. 20 at-bats against lefties in the past 30 days for Langoliers, 31 for Nick Kurtz. Really good numbers. Kurtz has a high strikeout rate. The Langoliers can certainly pop, but he's already out in this game. Nick Kurtz obviously is up right now. Brent Rooker comes in behind him. Just a real letdown yesterday. It's a shame because the radar was on. It was cooking. It was red hot. But the Athletics were just a little bit of a letdown here. You look, even if you're saying, oh, Donnie, how about the Washington side today? Jacob Lopez is on the mound. Not a very good pitcher either. He's got a 3.71 ERA last 45 days, 4.32 xFIP number. He should get hit too today, by the way, for his last 34 innings. But not a great lineup here for the Washington Nationals either. C.J. Abrams, average. James Wood, really not hitting left-handed pitching at all as a lefty. Paul DeJong, decent numbers, but only 8 at-bats over the past month. Riley Adams, same thing, only 11 at-bats, but decent statistics. I don't really know if that's going to be the case on that, but here's where we are at this point now. But Jacob Lopez is struggling with right-handed batters. In the lineup today, though, a lot of lefties, to be honest. Abrams, Wood, Garcia, Lowe, Lyle, Haskell. Why would they have 6? Why do they have 6 lefties in the lineup today? What is that about? Look at the barrel rate for the season. For Jacob Lopez as a lefty against left-handed batters, it's only 3%. And they're stacking that many lefties? Should have probably just taken the Athletics at this point right now, you know? Francisco Carrasco said didn't bet this game. I wanted to. Met runner on base right there. Who and what happened? Nick Kurtz drew a walk, so he's on base. They were on base quite a few times yesterday. Couldn't ring the bell enough. 1 solo home run. If you usually tell me, too, hey, Donnie, you need 3 runs. I'm going to tell you before the game starts, you're going to get at least 1 home run. Like, sign me up. Yeah, 1 home run solo shot. Couldn't even get the extras yesterday. Just the way it is. On a day that I thought was going to be so promising, didn't work out in our direction yesterday. But that's okay. Let's keep it moving today. Because a short card, Chicago White Sox, Seattle Mariners. Told you on the early line yesterday, we do our buy bets. Mine was a 4.5 as a team total in the Seattle Mariners. They smashed it in the first 2 innings. I think they had 7 runs by the time the second inning ended yesterday. Didn't watch it. Fast asleep. Woke up to saw it. Little consolation prize. We're stacking pretty well right now. We don't have the official lineups out just yet for the Mariners. And let me just check my baseball feed here because I don't think we have that. And again, that game doesn't start until 4:10 Eastern, which is 1:10 Pacific. And no, it's not. But if we are looking at the lineup that's anticipated, Shane Smith, not a very good pitcher. His past 45 days, 0-3 through 5 starts, only 18 1/3 innings pitched, 9.82 ERA, xFIP number 5.05. Now, granted, I don't think he's pitched all the way through. So let me just go take a look at Mr. Smith right now. They were hammering last night. And that Mariners lineup on a day-to-day basis, now it's a buy. It's really a buy team. It is. It's really a buy team. His last start, which was August 1st, 4 1/3, 18 total batters faced, gave up a home run, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. That xFIP for that game was a 6.12. He's lucky he didn't get damaged more. On the 11th, which again, he took about 3 weeks off, 3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Before that, hammered in like 5 straight starts. Minor leagues, Nothing. So also, what says RotoWire News here? Smith settled for a no decision after throwing 4 1/3 innings pitch, allowing 2 runs, 2 hits, and Friday's win. That was on the 1st. So we're getting a pitcher here. Not very good. Let's go over the lineup here that we like for the Seattle Mariners today. Last 30 days, Randy Arozarena, 72 at-bats at 232 ISO, 359 weighted on base percentage. Love to see it. Cal Raleigh, 250 ISO, a little bit low weighted on base percentage, but the power numbers are there. Julio Rodriguez went yard yesterday. 77 at-bats at 288 ISO and a 375 weighted on base percentage. Love that. Josh Naylor doing nothing against right-handed pitching, which is kind of crazy. You bring him over as a power bat as a lefty against right-handed pitching. You can't do anything against him. What's up with that? Eugenio Suarez, lovely numbers. 66 at-bats over the past month against righties. 368 ISO, 397 weighted on base percentage. Jorge Polanco, switch hitter. He'll be batting from the left-hand side tonight. His last 67 plate appearances against right-handed pitching. 351 ISO, 422 weighted on base percentage. Dominic Canzone, good weighted on base percentage. And then Cole Young to end. So we're looking at Shane Smith, right? He actually has decent numbers against right-handed batters on the season and also his last 11 batters. Take that with a grain of salt, what you will. On the season itself, 200 lefties he's faced, 189 ISO power number, which is dangerous, and a 330 weighted on base percentage, slightly below average for a pitcher. But we take a look at the hard hit contact rate on the season, 53.5%. So over 50% of the people making contact with him, that ball's getting driven. If we slide down just a little bit more, barrel rate on the season is actually pretty good. Last 30 days, which means basically his last start and a half, that barrel rate is going up, particularly to left-handed batters. So on the season, he's not giving up a lot of barrel contact, but hard contact, solid contact. But I just like the way that lineup looks for the Seattle Mariners. Chicago White Sox on this side going against Logan Gilbert. He's the dream of all analytical bettors most of the time. 8 starts over the past 45 days, 43 to third innings pitched, a 4.89 ERA and a 3.43 xFIP number. All right. So you say to yourself, maybe he could do some damage. Maybe he can give up some runs. I'm not banking on it, even though that White Sox lineup does project well against right-handed pitching. But Logan Gilbert's last 115 batters he's faced, that's a 33 K rate, 33%. On the season, 35%. ISO power numbers really low past 30 days, really low weighted on base percentage numbers here. Ground ball pitcher for the most part. Does give up some hard contact. Barrel rate to righties is a little bit high, but he's a much better pitcher on the mound than what we're going to get today out of Shane Smith. But also, did you see the price point in this game? I'm just going over team totals, 4.5, how you want to match those up. Minus 275 at FanDuel, minus 287 at DraftKings, minus 295 at BetMGM, minus 299 at Bet365. A massive number. This is what we call the haves and the have-nots at this time of season. You're seeing that right now. A team going nowhere versus a team trying to press down and get a couple more wins under the belt to try to pass the Houston Astros. It's just the way it is. That's crazy. By the way, shout out to people out there, 111 people watching live. Appreciate it. I know it's a short card. I know we got football tonight to deal with, but a Major League Baseball card, we're going to cover it Monday through Friday, right through to the end of the season and into the playoffs. We're going to add football shows here as well. Make sure you tune into those. I haven't decided what I'm going to do in football season yet, to be honest. I do, because I have time now on Sundays. Maybe a Philadelphia Eagles type show after a post-game show. One of those little fan gatherings. But I don't know if I want to do a breakdown show on Sunday. I don't know if I want to do it, what time I would want to do it at. Probably close to kickoff as possible. Maybe pop on for halftime, like I used to do back in the day on Sportsbook Review, SBR. Me and Gabe used to pop on at halftime there. Maybe a preview before the night game. But we'll do a lot more contact since I have my Sundays free. Saturdays, I'll be doing college football with the Sports Grid Network. But Sundays, look like I'm going to have some time, which is going to be fantastic. Something I haven't had in a couple of years. Being home by kickoff at 1 o'clock. Not missing all basically of the 1 o'clock games, which is the majority of the schedule every week. Doing Mondays and Thursdays in a studio where, again, I can't even listen to the broadcast. It's going to be fun to hear the broadcast again and maybe even pop off and have some watch-alongs where I can listen to the game myself and we can do as much fun things as we want here on the channel as possible. So if you guys are out there, you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button there. Obviously, if you're on Twitter, which is the main attraction, also broadcasting on Kick, Facebook, Twitch. Got a couple things fired up right now, but the stream looks pretty good, so I'm enjoying that right now. All right. Not bad. Let's get back to the handicapping. 0-0 still here at the end of one between the Athletics and Washington. Do you know what a common misconception, too? Let me know if you guys out there are listening and you chime in the chat box. So many times I hear people do this, right? Like, okay, you have your card handicap. You picked out 3 games on a Sunday. You only bet one of them. And then you look at the other 2. And let's just say you bet the Chicago Bears team total over 21.5. Ooh, they didn't get there. So you go, ooh, I'm glad I didn't bet that one. Like, that's not really the vibe process. Like, I don't look at yesterday. Like, let's just say the Seattle Mariners scored 8 runs, right? Just because I lost the A's game, like, ooh, I hope that Seattle game stays under so I don't feel as bad because that would have lost. Like, no. We're talking about, like, the radar being on. Like, the games you don't bet and you handicapped and they lost. You shouldn't be like, oh, man, so glad I didn't take that one. You should look at it like, well, why did I handicap that way? Like you're happy you lost? Like, you would have played it? Like, oh, at least I didn't play that one. It lost. Like, no. Like, you should be looking at these games as separate entities. Like, yeah, like you want games that you didn't bet, that you left off your card to win, because that shows that your handicapping knowledge, your prowess, and certainly your radar, as I like to call it, is on. So I look at yesterday losing money on rightwager.com because I lost my play. But I look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, was it 6 games? 5 of them, the radar was perfect. And even yesterday, like sometimes you get that, right? Where we played Kansas City, they crushed their team total. We played Seattle, they crushed their team total. And if I would have played the Athletics just straight team total, obviously that one would have lost. But you should always have that radar clicked on, like understanding the knowledge that you're getting from it and also how you want to pursue it. All right, 6:40 p.m. tonight, Singer versus Skeens. That's Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. That line, 180 overnight, sits around the low 170s right now. You get actually 166 at the Westgate in Vegas. 170s or so at BetMGM and Bet365. 172 at FanDuel, 171 at DraftKings. So right in that 170 range. Always hard to bet Paul Skeens because Pittsburgh is the team that's backing him up. You feel me? Yeah. But he's the best pitcher on the card. 36 innings pitched. His xFIP 2.91 over the past 45 days and an ERA of 2.50. He's good. Like, my recommendation would be, like, take the run line, first 5 innings under 150, and just deal with that. Because if Pittsburgh and Paul Skeens are down or tied after 5 innings, he's probably going to exit that game soon, and then you don't have any more advantage because your bullpen's going to stink, and Cincinnati technically is a better team. That's the way I would play that. That total opened up at 7.5, guys. That now sits at 7. That's extremely low. It really is. Extremely low. So if we're rolling through those first 3 games, top of the second inning now for the Athletics, 0-0, 1 out. And again, like saying, I don't want to see that guy dodge the bullet. Like today, it's not a good day to take the Athletics. They might end up with 6 runs today. We don't know. Not a great start, obviously, but you're through 4 outs into the game. They had a pitcher I wanted to fade without a lineup that I could use to fade him with. Does that make sense? Like, that's really the way it is. So I just couldn't take them here. I do like Seattle at 410. I just want to see those lineups here before we make any decisions. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Not really all that interested in that game other than the first 5 innings there. The nightcap tonight, which is a 7:15 game, you'll be able to watch that game and also the NFL games. Yuri Perez and Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco's not a good pitcher. Carrasco's back in Major League Baseball just because Atlanta doesn't have pitchers and they don't want to call up some of their young guns in AAA or AA to get that Major League experience, which means you have to pay them sooner. So Carlos Carrasco is just here to eat innings, the same way Eric Fetty in Atlanta is there just to eat innings. Yuri Perez is a good pitcher, guys. Did you know Yuri Perez's last 38 1/3 innings pitched over the past 45 days equates to a 1.64 ERA, a 3.93 xFIP number? He's not perfect, but he's way better than Carlos Carrasco. Earlier today, my best bet on the early line was a money line wager on the Miami Marlins, like -115, -118 prices. This morning, they're a little bit higher, as high as 126 on DraftKings, but primarily in that 120 to 125 range right now. And I agree with it. I do. If we look at the lineup, a little bit of a mixed bag here. Miami over the past 30 days, estimated lineups. Again, we don't know the official lineups. Carrasco in the season, a 224 ISO against and a 373 weighted on base percentage. That's bad. He's not a K pitcher. We get it. And also, he is a fly ball pitcher. Hard hit contact to lefties, much more than righties. In a way. Actually, you know what? Let me just extrapolate that. These numbers are wrong right here. So there's only 9 at-bats to the lefties that he's faced over the past 30 days. Can't really go with that. But barrel percentage on the season, 169 batters he's faced, he's at 11%, which is slightly higher than you'd like. Almost 11% to lefties, 11.5% to righties. But that lineup today, Xavier Edwards presents himself very well against right-handed pitching. Kyle Stowers has been off the charts against right-handed pitching over the past month. Agustin Ramirez, decent numbers. Same thing with Otto Lopez and Jacob Marcy. Is it a perfect lineup? No. Is it actually a better lineup than the Athletics showed today, basically, against a left-handed pitcher? Yeah, it is. And by the just looking at the A's game, they have a runner on first base, top of the second, one out here. See if they can cash in some runs here, maybe get an extra base knock into the gap. But I'm interested to see how this card plays out. It's a short one. Short options here, maybe paying a little bit of juice. The only good thing about losing my wager yesterday, which I hate losing at all, was a plus 125. He didn't get juiced out in that game. Like, oh man, later minus 140, minus 150 in that price and lost. It was a plus 125. Should have won, didn't win. Oh well, no big deal. Just the way it is. But today, 4 games on the card today. Obviously, I have some interest in this A's game. I want to see how this turns out. Next game up, Chicago White Sox and Seattle Mariners. That's a 4:10 start. So I should have those lineups coming out momentarily and be able to make a decision on that game, the Pittsburgh game, and also the Miami game, which way we want to hang on rightwager.com today. Hopefully we'll be in play, but you're not gonna rush plays. You're not gonna push plays out there that don't make some sense. But that Seattle game, if we're looking at lineups and we rate them for the rest of the day, Seattle's probably number 1. Miami's probably number 2. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, you probably got to lift out. What's Atlanta got here? Because I don't like the matchup because I don't think they win the game. I don't think they get very many hits off Yuri Perez. Not much power at all. Michael Harris, 254 ice over the past 30 days against righties. You like that. Eli White, 280 over the past 30 days. You like that. The rest of the lineup stinks. Nick Allen, Nacho Alvarez, Ozzy Albies, Sean Murphy, Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, Jurickson Profar. No power numbers whatsoever against righties. So if you had to go power rankings, it would be Seattle 1, Miami 2, and then like a toss-up between Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta. Don't like a lot of those anyway, shape, or form. There you go. The Athletics got 2 runs right off the bat right there. See that? You see that? Because I was actually looking at the Athletics game to say, all right, maybe you dumb it down even more, which means you take like a couple other alt lines tonight and maybe just throw in the Athletics for the extra piece to buy that juice down at 1.5, which they would have hit. Now, granted, I liked the A's today. I didn't bet the A's. But you know what's better than the A's getting shut up? Like, oh, man, how'd that happen with a bad pitcher? Let the A's run up to 9 or 10 runs today. Like, you can't like, oh, I'm upset I didn't take it. Yeah, but it's good to see that it's winning, even though I did have a circle on my card. Like, I was very close to putting the Athletics in a parlay today, which would have paid out well, even the 2.5s. 2.5s match up with 2 other 2.5s tonight. That would have paid decently at plus money. Now they have a runner on first base again. By the way, who's the home run? Colby Thomas, right? So let's go back and look at Colby Thomas's numbers. Colby Thomas had an 0.91 ISO and a 239 weighted on base percentage going up against left-handed pitching. He just hit a home run. See that? Like sometimes even the best numbers, we say, I don't think this lineup is going to work out that well. Those guys are doing damage right now. And another guy here on first base. So we might be in for one where, what'd they post? 15, 16 runs 2 days ago, 1 run yesterday, 2 runs already on the board today. Same way I lost the previous night, right? The Baltimore Orioles. They actually got shut out against the Phillies. I'm like, oh, the next day, I don't like them at all. They go up against Ranger Suarez, beat him up a bit. 4 runs off him right off the bat. You're like, man, could have used that 2.5 last night. And it looks like we just got a double. Max Schumann. So here we go again. Look at this. Max Schumann just got a double. So who was the... So we had a Luis Urias base knock who has absolutely no ISO or weighted on base percentages to speak of. That guy gets a base hit. Colby Thomas hit a home run who has terrible numbers. And then we just got a Max Schumann double. Now, also on this, because I didn't like the numbers statistically, let's just say, but the way to attack Mitchell Parker was with right-handed batters. He's been getting filleted by those guys. Crushed. Barrel rates, doesn't get swing and misses. Hard hit contact rate off the charts. And here they are doing damage today. So it looks like you're going to get the 3 runs for the alt, like right off the bat in the second inning. Maybe even more. A base knock gets you 4 total runs. And now you're looking at taking down that team total before you give it out of like maybe the second or third inning. Something to watch out for there at that point. Interesting, man. Interesting times. Well, that's the way it's going to be, but that's the Major League Baseball show for today. No use just hanging out and talking other than watching this Athletics game and see how many runs they can score here in the second inning as they play to 2 runs. But that's the way you get down. Clean stream today. Like it. The vibes are high. The people are out here having some fun. Love to see it all the way through. And of course, tomorrow it's Friday, a huge Major League Baseball card. But also, the Philadelphia Eagles play tonight. Can't wait to watch that game, even though it's going to be backups. Huge line movements in all three of those games tonight. We're soon to doing some NFL talk, some NFL action. But today, the Major League Baseball show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Quick 4-game card. A couple hot topics here. Just wanted to break down some of these games to see where they go. And that'll do it here, right? Paul Skeens on the mound. It's going to dominate tonight. We'll find out. That'll do it. See you tomorrow.